Reporting from the Chain Exchange 2018 conference in Las Vegas, Inc. columnist Tracy Leigh Hazzard explores the world of innovation, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and cryptocurrency.
Hi, Tracy Hazzard here at Chain Exchange 2018 in Las Vegas. We are having a great time. We just had an amazing panel discussion and presentations by a bunch of speakers that are on the pro and the con side of how cryptocurrency is going, how the blockchain is going. And I have Tom Leigh here. And Tom, you are a partner at Fundstrat Global Partners, and I just messed that up. Fundstrat Global Partners. And tell us a little bit about what you do there and how, I mean, you've been an expert for quite some time, so.
At Fundstrat, we are a research advisory firm. So our clients are hedge funds, institutional investors, family offices. In crypto, that also includes some miners and some of the exchanges. And we just provide research advice, analytics about the markets.
So you've been looking at the markets before, from the early stages, because you have to be aware of that for your clients. So, I mean, how long have you been sort of analyzing that?
I've been following traditional markets since 1993, so 26 years. But crypto is really a newer endeavor for us, so it's been about a year and a half now. It's something that we learned about at JP Morgan in 2011, 2012, but I think when Mt. Gox happened, I think as a firm, we sort of took our attention away from it.
Well, that makes sense. So everybody really wants to know, should I invest in Bitcoin? Should I do these things? And you feel free to advise us.
Yeah.
However, what I really do want to know is what should we be looking for when we're evaluating these types of different currencies that are coming up, and what should we be looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I think the future is really bright for digital assets and cryptocurrencies. So I think even though there is a bear market underway, I don't think people should be bearish. Because if your time horizon is 2 years, 3 years, you're not going to have a declining year-over-year period. In fact, even right now, Bitcoin's still up 50% from where it was a year ago. But I think that keeping it simple is really easier for most people, and I think determining what's a successful project is letting time work on your behalf. So I think Bitcoin is easy to understand because it's been around for 9 years. There hasn't been a challenge to replace Bitcoin, but there's going to be other successful projects out there.
So you were saying on stage that there was, there's kind of like an idea that Bitcoin's so overheated and overhyped and overvalued, but that's actually not the case. Could you, state that?
Now, I think there is a lot of speculation in general in all assets. Something I did mention was that when people think cryptocurrency has too much speculation, it's not as high as people realize or
it's
think.
Relative.
Yeah, because the dollar, for every dollar that people use today to buy groceries or to use in purchasing a car, it's actually traded 96 times on an exchange as a form of speculation. So almost 100 to 1. And oil today, for every gallon we burn in a car, it's traded 30 times on a commodity exchange as a speculation. And for Bitcoin today, the ratio of market exchange volume to on-chain is 2.5 to 1. So there's very little speculation in crypto.
Is that still because the volume's a little bit low, and as we see that, do you think you'll see a surge in the speculation?
Yeah, and also, most speculation takes place between institutional investors. So hedge funds day trade currencies. They make very exotic derivatives bets. And today, the on-ramps for an institution to buy crypto is limited. So I think until we get those on-ramps, and I think ICE is backed as one of them, it's primarily a retail market.
So obviously you were on the pro side of the stage today.
Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit about just why?
I think crypto is not only a sort of a big technology revolution, right? Maybe what people call Internet 3.0, but I think it's really being powered by a generation of people, which is millennials, anyone really between 18 and 37. There's 2.5 billion millennials today. It's the single largest generation ever born.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was just telling Dave the story that it's crazy that our children are seeing this sort of banking reality and they don't get it. So she had an overdraft that happened at 8:15 at night. and we're on the West Coast. So that means it's after the 8 p.m. cutoff in which she could have transferred money. She immediately transfers money, and yet the bank doesn't count it. But 2 checks come in overnight, and they debit against it, and she now has 2 more overdrafts.
Yeah.
It made her angry, right? She's 23 years old. She's angry about that. And I think we see that going on. So that there's this, like, the institutional version of banking isn't serving that generation's mindset of what it should be.
Yeah, it's not meeting people's expectations because people who deal with Amazon, there's a mistake. Amazon apologizes, goes out of their way, gives them a credit. Today, banks really make the burden on the customer to prove that they didn't have fraud. I don't know if anyone's ever tried to dispute a charge on their credit card, but it's very difficult.
It can take months.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's so I see actually a lot more use cases coming forward, and when you start to see application and use, that's when we start to see, hey, there really is a tipping point, and we're really turning that. So, what do you think though is holding us back?
I think that the panel really brought it up. You know, Jessica was talking about user interfaces, UI, UX, and it's true. You know, today, from a browser experience perspective, I don't know if anyone's tried to use like Augur or Steam. It's very difficult for a novice to really understand how to get into these platforms. It's not that different than 1998 when the state of the art was just Netscape and Internet Explorer. And,
Don't remind me.
Yeah. People forget how primitive those web pages were. They were awful. Most web pages were terrible.
Oh, we had to hard code our own shopping carts, believe it or not, and they always failed. I can tell you, they always had some bug in them. So we're back to there at this stage, but I think that we should accelerate out of that. The more adoption that happens, it's going to be a necessity.
Exactly, and if you think about it today, there's a lot of technology talent that's really good at developing user interfaces. It's just a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time. Well, thank you, Tom. We appreciate your contribution on the panel and here as well. We really thank you for your time.
Yeah.
This is Tracy Hazzard from Chain Exchange.
For more on Chain Exchange, Tracy's guests, or her Inc. articles and column on innovation, please go to feedyourbrand.co/CXC.